Welcome to Pat Gray Unleashed.
Yeah! And welcome to it. Great to have you with us. 888-900-3393. Also, Pat Unleashed on Twitter. All kinds of stuff. A big day. Now, yesterday, it was believed that Russia fired missiles into Poland, killed 2 people. Apparently that's not what happened. Apparently it was not Russia. They now think it was Ukraine. And somebody screwed up. So.
Yeah, we don't know. Yeah, it's very undetermined at this point.
But apparently we don't have to worry about Biden's claim that we're gonna defend every inch of NATO territory. Every inch. Okay, so yeah, thank you for committing us to that. That's great. That's really wonderful. And he just keeps making the situation worse. But apparently the war's off for now. We'll see. We'll see. Not the war between Russia and Ukraine, but World War III.
Well, maybe. There's a lot going on the planet as we speak.
There really is. Yeah, there really is. So the other thing that was pretty big, I guess, last night was this announcement from Donald J. Trump, who said this with his announcement. This would be cut 5. Cut 5, Donald Trump.
In order to make America great and glorious again, I am tonight announcing my candidacy for President of the United States.
All right, there you go.
Is that all cheering or?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Mar-a-Lago, yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
It's a weird sound. It almost sounded like there might have been just a little bit of a mix in there, but maybe not.
All right.
So are you excited about that? Is everybody thrilled now? Are you happy? Let us know how you feel about that. 888-900-3393. Is this the guy that will win in the general election? Yes, he can. We all know he can win the nomination. Almost certainly will if he runs. But will he win the general election? I don't know.
Well, so you think it's a foregone conclusion that he wins the primary, huh? Yeah.
I do. I do. I think he'll go after Ron DeSantis. He's already going after Ron DeSantis. Really. DeSantis was really cool about it, I thought. What a great answer. Because they asked him about it. And DeSantis responded. I mean, mostly he deflected all of that by saying that everyone attacks him every day, and he's used to it. It just goes with the territory, was kind of his answer. But he said, at the end of the day, scoreboard. Look at the scoreboard, which is, I thought it was just really classy. He handled it really well. Didn't take shots at Trump, didn't go down that road at all. Cooler heads prevailed, and he just said, look, we won by 20 points. What are you going to do? I mean, come on. He doesn't have to explain himself at all right now.
Yeah, I'm not convinced that head-to-head Trump is necessarily just a shoo-in to win the primary against DeSantis.
I don't know. He's up by 50 points right now.
Fine.
But, I mean, that can go away quickly.
Sure can. And I think when you look at if they start getting into debates where they're talking about governance, especially during the pandemic, I think what you just said is very appropriate. Scoreboard. I think DeSantis handled Florida better than Trump handled the country.
Yeah, and it was strange to me that Trump threw out he didn't have to close Florida, but he did.
I don't know what that's in reference to.
Yeah, I don't either.
I mean, educate me if I missed something with Florida.
Did he close it for a minute? I don't know. I don't think so. He opened Florida back up quicker than anybody in the nation.
Maybe Kemp beat him.
Maybe. I don't know.
And, of course, Trump gave Kemp crap for that.
Right. True.
And I just, I think that it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it will be interesting.
It'd be nice if, the Republicans could concentrate on solidifying the House, which I guess was official. Well,
we're done there.
Yeah.
We got it. Well, the Republicans got it. 219 is where we are.
That's where we're at, 219? Okay.
Yeah, 219.
And McConnell's already confident that he's going to still be in charge of the losing side.
I hope that's not true. I really hope that's not true.
Yeah, you want to see this yesterday?
Yeah.
Look at this pretentious prick.
I think it's pretty obvious we may or may not be voting tomorrow.
Today. Yep.
Hello?
But I think the outcome is pretty clear. I want to repeat again. I have the votes. I will be elected. The only issue is whether we do it sooner or later, and I think we'll probably have another discussion about that tomorrow.
All right.
I mean, if that's true, the Republicans are just as pathetic as they've always been. If they can't get rid of this waste of skin,
Turtle?
yeah, if they can't get rid of him, then I mean, they don't have the giblets to do anything else either.
Yeah.
If
And-
turtles weren't so
Okay.
stupid,
Okay.
they would put straws in
That's
their noses.
Mitch McConnell.
When I see a
Song
straw,
written for him, I guess.
I put it in my mouth. Straws don't belong there, but the turtles don't know why. So maybe they all deserve to die.
How many years do you think Mitch McConnell has been in charge of Republicans in the Senate?
1,000?
Close.
1,500?
Should have taken the under, though.
Really?
It's 15,
15.
which is
15 miserable
15
freaking years.
too many.
Yeah,
and
it
Rick
is.
Scott still going to put up a token fight, but he's not going to win.
No, he's probably
Kevin
not.
McCarthy was
Kevin McCarthy's gonna
nominated
be-
for Speaker of the House yesterday, so that's exciting, right? Kevin McCarthy, man. The Republicans have got this. They've learned their lesson. They realize they failed
Every
miserably,
time.
and they're
Every
putting
time.
the same leadership in power.
Right.
Okay.
Every time. They do the same stinking thing. Every time. Really? You're going to do Kevin McCarthy for Speaker of the House? All right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's about 100 better guys, but you're obviously not going to bother with any of them.
And Tom Emmer, nominee for whip for the Republicans in the House, so that's exciting. Tom Emmer, he was the
Emmer.
the rhino who made sure that the money was moved around during the campaigns that kept certain individuals from receiving money at crucial times in their campaigns.
Okay. That's
The
great.
Republican Party is a disaster, and they're going to continue to be.
It is a disaster.
And that's why I think I circle back to my thought that I don't know that this is just a walk in the park for Donald Trump
We'll see.
in 2024. I think.
I hope you're right, because that would restore my faith in humanity. I mean, if he has a fight, at least. I'm not sure Donald Trump is the best choice anymore, because he's got a lot of baggage, and the rest of America hates his guts. I mean, you're not going to get a lot better treatment with DeSantis, but I mean, Trump has got so much baggage. You know, he was impeached twice. He's got all the stuff that comes with, being the kind of responder to any sort of criticism. I mean, he's got a lot of. It's like, when Megyn Kelly asked him the question, "You've called women pigs." I mean, okay, you don't have any of that with Ron DeSantis. None of that.
Well, you've got a TV show that's already trying to paint DeSantis. What was was it CBS? I don't know. There was a TV show that talked about how Ron DeSantis assaulted her or something like that. I forget.
What?
Yeah, it's been.
I had seen.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
So is that the unflattering stuff that Trump is saying that he'll bring up if DeSantis runs?
No, I think it's a fabricated script on a stupid TV show. And as unpopular as the Republican Party is, I think it's fair to say of the names that we've mentioned, DeSantis set aside, and just party leadership, he's the most popular.
DeSantis?
No. We're taking DeSantis out. I'm just talking about the current faces of the Republican Party, like in Washington, D.C., and Donald Trump and all that stuff. Trump is, of those who have been through there, he's the most popular. Mitch McConnell was just given the power, apparently, back in the Senate by his party with his 7% popularity among Americans.
7%. Yeah, that's
7. I think
that's the worst I've ever heard.
It's
the worst I've ever heard of. 7%. That's incredible. I don't think they even like him in Kentucky, frankly.
How does this happen?
I don't think they do. And,
Come on.
I don't know. It's just a bad habit that they just keep sending him back to Washington. Why? Stop it. But between Trump and DeSantis, you've got the two at the head of the party. Mm-hmm. And then right after that, I would say it's Mike Pence, probably.
Really?
I think in polls, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I think it's Pence. And then it's Ted Cruz, maybe. Marco Rubio.
It's a party that's going to have to
there?
figure things out
real
fast.
Yeah, they are.
There's not only a battle for the soul of the Republican Party happening right now, but it's if you don't get it together and get on the same page as a party, then the Marxists are going to just continue to destroy what's left of this country.
Yep.
And they're just going to keep on winning these elections come hook or crook.
That's why it's so important. 2024 is so critical. Of course, that's what we said about 2022 as well. And look at what we got. I mean, fortunately, at least the Republicans got the House back. I mean, and by the skin of their teeth because they suck. That's the problem. They're terrible. The Republicans won't put forward a plan. They won't tell you what they're going to do. They won't give you a broad, clear vision of what they see for America and how to get us back to the country we once were. They don't have that, and they don't do that. And all they do, and I mean, there's a lot to criticize, but that's all they do is criticize Democrats.
It's not enough to just be against something.
It's not, right. It's not. And we've proven that time after time.
And governors like Ron DeSantis and Brian Kemp and even Greg Abbott to a degree, these are governors who didn't, they were examples. And again, with Abbott, I don't know. I'm still pissed at him. But, these are pandemic era governors who just faced re-election that did okay.
Yeah,
they didn't win by the skin of their teeth.
No, they won handily.
And I think that's the difference here.
Yeah,
is they govern.
I'm not as pissed at Abbott as many are. I mean, like Sarah Gonzalez, really pissed at Greg Abbott. Are you really pissed at him, or just somewhat?
I'm kind of pissed.
Yeah,
I'm probably in between.
I was pissed, but I'm kind of over it now because the alternative was Beto, and no, thank you.
When he tried stupid ass mask mandate.
Yeah, that was stupid.
And I will never forget, in July of 2020, dude goes, oh, crap, there's pressure, and I want to be president someday, so let me show how much I care about people, where it was overnight illegal for my own mom to ride in my truck with me unless we were wearing masks.
And there was a time.
Shut up.
And I think I've even said this on the air, Greg Abbott was the best governor I've ever experienced in my lifetime. I don't feel that way anymore.
Oh, who you got then? Right, there isn't one.
There isn't one.
I lived in New Jersey when Chris Christie was governor. I mean, that was good 5 minutes there.
He'd probably still be the best governor in my lifetime. Because he's still better than Rick Perry. Because Rick Perry would probably be second.
But all that says is we've had some crappy leaders in the Republican Party.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it just says that I didn't have great governors in Utah when I lived there. I didn't have great governors certainly in Maryland when I lived there, or Connecticut when I lived there, and New York where I worked. We had really awful leadership. So
in hindsight, Zoe Miller was a hell of a governor for Georgia. In hindsight, at the time, didn't appreciate him. Yeah,
it's too bad because for a Democrat especially, jeez,
I appreciated him much more as a senator than a governor. I'll say that.
Yeah. He was quite brave to stand up to his party the way he did.
He's a good man, and he's one of the few examples of someone, a politician, who can admit when they were wrong about something. He said he was totally wrong about abortion early on.
Holy cow.
And
did he really?
That's
great.
Came around and said,
nobody does that.
Nobody does that.
Ask Joe Biden what he's done wrong, and he'll tell you nothing. He will tell you, I haven't done anything wrong.
Okay, but in fairness, he probably doesn't remember anything he's ever done. So
that's probably true, too.
Maybe the best person.
All right, let me tell you about Birch Gold. You know, the last time we went through a recession, there were stocks that literally went to zero. Washington Mutual, Lehman Brothers, Chrysler, multiple blue chip stocks went to little or no value pretty much overnight. Could that happen again? Yes. And if it did, are your savings protected? Why not own something that's never been valued at zero? Gold. Historically, your best hedge against inflation, which is going up like a hockey stick as we speak. The savviest Americans diversify their savings to protect them from downturns in the market, from global instability, and from the falling dollar. And the dollar will be falling again. Right now, it's performing for who knows what reason. It's actually going up. But Birch Gold will help you hold gold and silver in a tax-sheltered retirement account. In fact, if you have a 401k or IRA that's underperforming, please just text PAT to 989-898, and you can convert that IRA into precious metals right now. They're going to send you a free info kit. There's no obligation. Just look it over, see if it's right for you. Text PAT to 989-898. Birch Gold will send you that free info kit on diversifying into gold tax-free. Again, get your free info kit by texting PAT to 989-898.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Oh, okay, so the White House is about to ask Congress.
Has it been a week?
Man.
It's been a week, right?
I don't think it's been a full week.
You know,
it's
actually, I'm starting to notice a cycle because, Jeffy was here a couple weeks ago and we were sitting in here on a Friday when the news came down. And then it came down again on a Thursday, and now it's on a Wednesday.
Every time Jeffy's in.
No. I'm saying it's like 6 days. 6 days now. So
every
next Tuesday, expect an announcement.
But today's announcement is the White House is asking Congress for $37.7 billion, $37 billion in aid to Ukraine. Why have we waited this long to give them aid?
Yeah.
That should have been going on for a while now. Yeah, and it has every week. Every week since this war started, we've given them either hundreds of millions or literal billions of dollars. Every week.
Yeah.
What happened to that $40 billion? How come nobody counts that? There was a $40 bill that they approved, and we sent that to them. So that's not counted in some of these aggregates that I've seen compiled.
Yeah, and we have kind of set to music headlines of all the times that we've given money, and it's not a complete list, and it doesn't tally up to the total. And this tweet overnight from Thomas Massey says, he says we should immediately stop payments to Ukraine and begin a thorough audit of the $60 billion that Joe Biden and Congress have already sent there.
Yes, that's much closer to the actual figure.
So when you watch this, it's not.
Just know it's not a total.
It's not the total.
Here it is.
Oh.
The U.S. provided more than $1 billion. April, Biden announces $800 million. May, $150 million. $100 million. June, $450 million. July, U.S. to send $7 billion.
Okay.
Nice.
Adding up.
$7 billion. $270 million more. August, $800 million more. $2.98 billion more. September, $600 million in additional security aid. October, $725 million. November, $400 million in new aid.
Yeah, see, this says it's at $18.9 billion.
That is not the total.
Is that the cash? Is that the cash? Because
I think the lawmakers rushed through $50 billion. Look at that.
Yeah. Oh, so I think they're saying there's another $50 billion on the table. I don't know. You can't keep up anymore.
I don't know. Yeah, I think they're making a distinction here as what was sent for security, what was sent for military aid, what was sent in cash, and maybe that's the distinction they're making. I don't know, because that is only a partial, a tiny fraction of what we've sent to them.
It's sickening.
I've heard estimates up to $100 billion. $100 billion. And that would not surprise me in the least. It really would not. So, another $37.7 billion? Why not? Go ahead. I mean,
well, yeah, you gotta.
Let's just keep funding absolutely everything they do over there.
Well, yeah, and we know that the FTX coffers are low.
Yeah, right. So we got to launder this money through the Ukrainians. So that should work out really well. Jeez. So again, as far as the missiles that fell in on Poland yesterday and killed 2 people, they don't think that was the Russians now, which is a good thing.
Which is also good because the town that it landed in, I've heard nobody pronounce this. They just keep saying across the border.
Yeah.
It's spelled PRZ. EWODOW with a fun little, accent mark thing.
Accent aigrun.
Yeah, there you go. So, I mean, it's not catchy enough.
So who knows?
Because you can't say, like, you remember the Alamo is easy to just roll right off the tongue.
Right.
Remember Prizwodawo. That wouldn't. So that's why they're not going with that.
You probably start with the Z, I would guess.
Okay. Remember
Zibid. Yes, that's exactly how you pronounce it right there.
Nailed it.
Meanwhile, several Chinese aircraft and naval vessels entered the Taiwan Strait, crossing into Taiwan's air defense identification zone. Its government announced that yesterday, so that's fun.
Okay.
That's always fun.
So they didn't wait until Joe Biden got back home.
No.
To
no, they did
not. I don't know
not.
if you can call it an invasion, but they definitely crossed into Taiwan.
I just hope
waters.
They're blustering, and feigning aggression, because, of course, Biden said, "Hey, look, our policy has not changed on Taiwan." Well, what does that mean then?
I know nobody knows that, right?
That means you leave them alone when they invade Taiwan because we still uphold the one China policy thing. I don't even know what that means. Well, our position has never changed on China. By the way, it's never changed. So what are you saying? They can waltz into Taiwan at any point and just reinstall their own government?
Yeah.
They've never been a part of China, right? So that'll be fascinating to see what happens there. Because I don't think anybody wants a war with China either, any more than we want a war with Russia.
Yeah, and can we go back to the missiles landing in Poland? We had the president of the United States was asked if he thought this was an attack from Russia, and here's his definitive answer earlier.
Mr. President, is it too early to say whether this missile was fired from Russia?
Good Lord,
there
man.
There is preliminary information that contests that. I don't want to say that till we completely investigate, but it is. It's unlikely in the minds of the trajectory that it was fired from Russia.
In the minds of the trajectory.
We'll see.
You got that?
Do trajectory have minds?
In the minds of the trajectory.
Okay, in the minds of the trajectory. That's great.
See, that'd be a good album name. Right?
In the minds of the trajectory?
Yeah. It's like a deep, it's got ethereal sounds and stuff.
All right.
In the minds of the trajectory.
Wow, he's terrible.
He is something else. Now,
come on.
Thankfully, Poland only called for Article 4 from NATO, and that they just get together and talk about it, as opposed to
Article 5.
Article 5, which would be
where we go to war.
Yay!
Yeah.
So, and so this is a Russian missile, though, but it's believed that Ukraine had stockpiles. This is my understanding. I heard a little thing this morning that says that it's from
that makes
old
sense.
Stockpile from Ukraine from Russia days.
I mean, since they were part of the Soviet Union together.
Right. Okay, but then you ask, aren't we sending you a lot of stuff that hopefully will hit their targets and not,
Not
errantly go into some innocent country?
Yeah.
So why are you using these old rockets, bro?
Man, oh man.
Because the money's not there, Keith. That's why.
Well, by one count, we've only sent them $19 billion.
$19 billion, right.
Keith, you can't do much on $19 billion. What do you want them to do?
What can you do with $19 billion?
What do you want some kind of thrift military? You want...
we're about to get it here in America if we keep sending stuff to every other corner of the world.
I think
for
we've
other
already
countries to use.
compromised ourselves. Yeah. According to many of the experts, we've already compromised our ability by sending everything there. So between that and what we did in Afghanistan, leaving all that equipment behind, of course we're a bit compromised.
So we could send the United Nations in to take care of everything. They're good, right? They're strong.
Yeah, what is this thing about the...
We had a listener who was driving down Highway 17, which is the main thoroughfare in Charleston, South Carolina, and there were some United Nations trucks. Can we see the video here? Just barreling down the road there.
Oh,
yeah, and so you can just see we got some UN vehicles.
Yeah. Weird.
And Ryan Adams playing on the radio there. But yeah, there you go. Now
they're on the back of
I inquired.
trailers.
Yeah, I inquired. Are these headed toward the port or from the port? I haven't heard back, so I'm just curious. It's just a little startling to see UN vehicles in the United States of America. Maybe
That's just bizarre.
Were they monitoring our elections and now they're headed home? I don't know.
Would that surprise you in the least?
No,
Wouldn't
nothing
surprise me
does.
one bit.
Yeah. So there you go.
Although I remember back, is it in the 90s? Maybe it was the 2000s. Where they were suggesting such a thing. And everybody was like, what? This is America. Shut up. But now
I'm there, bro.
Makes a little more sense, doesn't it? Just the third worldification of this country is...
rolling on.
It's just despicable.
And all we need is a war in China and Russia.
Right.
At the same time. Dear God.
Meanwhile, an oil tanker associated with an Israeli billionaire has been struck by a bomb-carrying drone off the coast of Oman amid heightened tensions with Iran. Good, okay. Well, so there's another front that we can get involved in, because that's what we do. The attack on the Liberian-flagged oil tanker Pacific Zircon happened Tuesday night off the coast of Oman, the Mideast-based defense official said. The official spoke on condition of anonymity as they didn't have authorization to speak, but they did anyway. I love it when that happens.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you feeling good about the state of the world right now?
Are you kidding me? Everything's going well. I mean, it's almost perfect, isn't it?
Almost.
Everything's almost perfect.
So what's the one thing that's keeping us from perfect if we're almost perfect? What is it?
I think it's vaccine hesitancy and white supremacy. Those are the two things.
Those are the flies in the ointment?
Yes. We've got two things that are keeping us from absolute perfection.
Are you about to explain away the GOP losses here with Neil deGrasse Tyson?
Yes. Yes, I am. Neil deGrasse Tyson. This guy is such a bonehead.
He sucks.
And you see him on all kinds. Do you ever watched? I don't know. They got all kinds of documentaries, and he is at the forefront of many of them. Especially if they involve the solar system or the galaxy. Some kind of expert.
He's
supposedly.
so smart. He's so smart, right?
He's brilliant.
So you want him a part of these projects?
Sure. And he tweeted out vaccine hesitancy, which was much higher among Republican voters than Democrats during COVID, led to disproportionate deaths among conservatives. I'd like to show me that.
I know.
Show me that freaking fact. I want to see it. That's bull crap. And may have cost them the midterm elections in close races. What?
Oh, God.
How do you figure that?
Little bit of a stretch, Neil.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, well, can we factor in the deaths from the vaccine? Does that balance out then? I mean, that's the stupidest thing ever. I mean, the premise is wrong, that hesitancy is causing these deaths.
Right.
Yeah, so...
I am so glad that I was vaccine hesitant. Especially, now that we look back and we see so many issues, including the myocarditis, which I don't need. Thank you.
You don't need
I don't need that in my life.
Right. That's got to be the dumbest tweet of the year award right there.
He's an idiot.
Vaccine hesitancy among conservatives cost Republicans close races. So we started looking back here at recent tweets from him during the election cycle here. Here's a couple of gems as well. If women ran the country and they passed laws affecting men's reproductive organs, I wonder what the men would do. And then here's a great one here. Politicians lie to us because deep down we want them to. It's hard for them to get elected when they tell the truth. We want them to lie to us. Yes, Daddy, please.
Unreal. More coming up. Yeah. Some tweets here. Carl Smith tweets, time to get real. Republicans did poorly in the midterms because Democrats ran against Trump, even when he wasn't on the ballot. He has now given them nearly 2 years to fan the hate, back off, and support DeSantis. Okay? Learning to blind. Who won governor who doesn't... Oh, the governor who won, I guess, is what you're trying to say. Who won governor who doesn't get enough credit? Maybe it's the one governor who doesn't get enough credit is Governor Kevin Stitt.
Oh, yeah, Oklahoma.
I love him.
He's very good.
I know he was on Glenn's show before the election.
I did. That's what I said.
But he's done Oklahoma very well.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah, he's very good.
From Tamara B., the first 3 years of Trump presidency were great. He mishandled COVID. We need the 2024 GOP candidate to get votes from Republicans, independents, and some Dems. Too many people hate Trump.
Yeah, you can't take anything away from Trump's first 3 years. In fact, the first year, he had the mole inside the White House. It wasn't quite the maybe first 6 months or so, and I think it was Reince Priebus. But anyway, he was hamstrung, but he still had an incredible presidency in the first half.
And Tamron writes, time for him to move on. Yeah, but he's not going to.
No.
So we got to be the ones to move on if we're going to do that, if that's what we decide as a party. I'm not saying I've decided that. I'm just saying if we decide it together as Republicans. Disinformation show loophole. DeSantis can't beat Trump. Trump's cult is too great in number. Wow. And you know what? That's a possibility.
It is a possibility.
I don't know if it's still the case. It may not be, because look at the tweets we're getting. Look at it. Seems like on our Twitter feed anyway, it's about 75-80% DeSantis over Trump. Doesn't it seem that way?
We should run a poll.
We should.
I mean,
should run a poll.
The thing is that we can like both of them.
We can
like both of them.
Yeah.
And right now, we don't have to pick.
We don't have to choose right now.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
All right. It is time now for Chewing the Fat with Jeff.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll sing.
That's so nice.
If you can call it that.
When you get stuck between the moon and New York City, your name is Jeffy. That much is true. When you get stuck between the moon and New York City, that's your name is.
Best you can do.
The best that you can do is chew the fat.
Wow, that's awesome.
Jeffy does as he pleases.
We're going to do something about the premature end there, though,
Well,
so we can finish the rest of the song. Goes in great depth on being stuck between the moon and New York City, but we won't get into that.
It kind of reminds me, I was going to save it till later, but the Grammy nominations are out.
Oh.
And so, I mean,
right.
I don't know that particular song, that version was nominated.
I'm sure it is.
I mean, there's 91 categories, so
91.
I guess
Literally?
pretty much everyone got some kind of nomination.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
But Beyonce is now tied with her husband Jay-Z as the musician with the most Grammy nominations in history.
Oh my gosh!
88.
Wow.
Kendrick Lamar, Adele, Brandy Carlisle, Harry Styles, and Future all got at least 6 nominations. This new Grammy.
What happened to the weekend?
Congratulations. So maybe we can go. If I don't know, we don't have time here to go through all 91 categories.
Perhaps not. But like the major ones. Do you have the major ones? You don't have that. No. Okay.
We can get to it maybe on overtime.
Like best
today.
song, best record. Perhaps we'll look into that.
It's getting a little crowded out there now. The Earth's population, 8 billion people on the planet.
Right.
So
that's
3 times the population from 1950 and 8 times that in the early 1800s. So the annual population growth peaked at just over 2% in the early 60s and has since declined under 1% So by the end of the century, deaths will probably surpass births. So we'll lose a few people. Don't worry about it. It's not going to be as crowded.
Wonder how they're going to do that.
What do you mean?
I just wonder how they're going to
fertility rates.
Is that what? Oh yeah. Again, I wonder how they're going to do that.
We went up 1 billion people in 10 years.
Yeah. I mean,
and they think we're going to be at 9 billion within 15. So even with, a lot of countries cutting back on births, not getting as and because of abortion, frankly, they still think we're going to go another billion within the next 15.
There's still a lot of business going on.
Yeah, there is.
Serious business going on. So finally, NASA launched Artemis 1.
Oh, good.
Finally.
I'm glad. That's cool.
Overnight, about 1:04 a.m., 1:05 a.m., they finally said, well,
we're going.
Let's shoot this thing up.
And here we go. And hydrogen burn-off igniters initiate.
This guy's
7,
excited.
6,
he is.
I mean,
5,
totally.
4-stage
Through the whole
engine
thing.
Start. 3, 2, 1. Boosters in ignition. And liftoff of Artemis 1. We rise together back to the moon and beyond.
We rise together, baby.
That's cool. That looks great at night, doesn't it?
It sure does.
Yeah.
That is cool. That's spectacular.
All 4 RS-25 engines on
They have
the
a bunch of
stage
people
and
watching.
Awesome, yeah.
Live. Yeah.
And there's dummies on this thing, right, Jeff?
128 miles per hour.
There's dummies on it.
How dare you call anything with NASA dummies?
This is an unmanned mission, but it's an important one because they're going to fly to the other side of the moon. They're going like 40,000 miles beyond the moon, and that's a first.
It's going to travel 1.3 million miles.
Further in space than we've ever gone.
And then it comes back around. It's going to be up there
Except
for
for
like
the Mars.
25 days, 11 hours, and 36 minutes. And then it'll come back into the atmosphere. It'll re-enter the atmosphere at 24,500 miles per hour.
Okay, that's fast.
I heard that we're supposed to go to the moon 2024 with humans.
The first trip
Artemis
will orbit.
2. Artemis 2 in 2024,
it's going to orbit with 4 astronauts, I think.
But not
and then the next flight after that,
Artemis
Artemis
3.
3, is going to be a manned mission to land
And
on
that
the moon.
is, right now, preliminary speaking, 2025.
Or 26, they said.
Yeah.
So it ended up taking more than 50 years between moon visits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a problem with that? What's the problem?
I mean, there'll be...
What do you think? We should have gone
I
right
suppose you
back
think
up?
Artemis 3 is going to have dummies on it, too. Okay.
I will tell you this, though. After watching a documentary, I think it was on Netflix, a documentary of the Challenger and what went wrong there, I'm less critical of NASA's launch windows now.
Oh,
Do you know? It was 38 degrees that day they launched. Now, they were told by Morton Thiokol and others who were involved in the manufacture of the parts.
Yeah, don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't launch in cold weather because the O-rings can't handle it.
Right.
They ignored it. They went anyway because they were under a lot of pressure. And look what happened. Lost 7 lives there.
I never heard they were warned.
Yeah, they were warned big time by Morton Thiokol and others. There were people within NASA. There were people at Morton Thiokol.
Yeah, they were questioning why, we should just hold off on the launch.
Just hold off. Just wait.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't do it.
So now, but because of that, there's a cloud. Okay, we pause the launch.
Yeah, but it's more understandable now.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Is it?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes,
we're not
it
ready
is.
for prime time.
Well, no, we're not. But the fact is, it's reasonable that they would delay launches. To be on the safe. Would you rather be on the safe side if you're going up in one of those rockets?
Yeah, Jeffy.
I would.
Well,
if you have any doubts at all, I can wait a couple of days.
Depends on if I'm having a bad day or not.
Yeah,
just launch me. I don't give a crap
I'm already
anymore.
strapped in this thing. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Oh, that's interesting.
Let's just go through the crowd. Let's go. And NASA's been busy recently, too, because they had the record-breaking 6th mention of the military's X-37B space plane. Finally over, 908 days mission. Looks like the space shuttle, only smaller. Looks like a little toy.
Yeah, it does.
It looks exactly like the space shuttle, only it's
Except
smaller.
it's squattier
It's
and
a lot
uglier.
smaller.
Does it have rust on top
It's like
of it?
29
What's
feet.
happening there?
It's
Yes,
like
it's already
29 feet.
rusty.
Yeah, well, it's been in space.
What?
For 908 days.
Oh, it came back. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
It's It's been 908 days in orbit, more than 4 months longer than any of the previous X-37B flights.
I didn't even know about that.
That's incredible.
Huh. All right, that's cool.
Yeah, it is. And they brought military tests and other stuff.
It's better than having no vehicle at all that can get Americans to space. We got to hitch a ride with the Russians every time. We got our thumb out at their launch pad.
This was a drone, so there was.
It doesn't matter. At least we have vehicles that are going to space again.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
And I don't, whether it comes from private industry or NASA, it's just a good thing that we have our own.
And they just launched the successful low Earth orbit flight test of an inflatable decelerator, the Lofted, which is supposed to help in getting us to Mars. Because the weight of NASA's Mars spacecrafts has been limited to 1 metric ton, about the weight of a car. And to send people and supplies, it needs to bump up to 20 to 40 metric tons. So the inflatable shield is what they're calling a game changer. It weighs less than traditional shields when folded up, fits into a capsule about like a carry-on container, about that small, and it expands to 20 feet and can withstand 3,000 degrees.
It would fit into the overhead compartment on a commercial flight. Correct. I can put it right in the overhead compartment. I don't have to check it as baggage.
That's correct.
Okay, good.
Well, hold on. Time out. Wait a second, gentlemen. Is it more than 50 pounds, Jeff Fisher?
Oh, I believe it is, right?
See, that's where they get you. That's where they get you.
Oh, no. Well, it's global warming. We may need to all have that inflatable with us in the future.
You never know.
The old heat shield.
More Jeff Fisher and Chewing the Fat coming up in just a second. First, let me tell you about established titles. Well, how would you like to be a lord or a lady?
I believe I think I am.
Oh, yeah?
In what way? Did you already do this?
Yeah, I think I did.
Oh. This is great because you become a lord
people too.
or a lady.
I don't want to be in your neighborhood, bro.
And then they support global reforestation efforts.
Yeah, it was cool what they do.
Yeah, really cool. It's a fun and novel way to preserve the natural woodlands of Scotland and elsewhere while helping global reforestation. It's a project based on a historic Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lairds or lords and ladies in English. Title packs give you at least 1 square foot of dedicated land with a unique plot number on a private estate in Edelston, Scotland, and an official certificate with your crest on it. That is really cool.
But can you request that you're not near Jeffy's plot?
I think you can. Yeah, I think you can.
Okay.
But this makes an amazing last-minute gift. With all the holiday season coming up, Established Titles is actually running a massive Black Friday sale right now. Plus, if you use the code UNLEASHED, you get an additional 10% off.
Oh, nice.
So go to establishedtitles.com/unleashed and get your gifts now. Right now.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
And more Chewing the Fat with Jeffy.
Well, we know Fetterman showed up in Washington, D.C.
Yeah,
thanks to a pic from the wife's Twitter account, at Giselle Fetterman, captioned, "First day with 3 blue hearts." And I guess he's the senator, even though he's not fully in the picture, but she certainly is. So.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my gosh.
Who said? Somebody said he looks.
Senator?
Somebody said he looks like a mortician on trial for wrongful death. And somebody else said, "Yeah, there's your next member of the squad," and they ain't lying.
Oh yeah, big time.
Give it 3 months.
Yeah. And speaking of being on the job, I'm not sure if this is real or not. I know we talked about it. The Pennsylvania state senator that was reelected last Tuesday, despite passing away.
Oh, yeah.
Last
Despite
month.
being dead.
I mean, we know obviously that's real, Tony DeLuca. And we were told that a special election is going to follow soon. But a pic from Sally Mayweather on the scene. Apparently, Tony showed up for work at the Pennsylvania State Senate. And I don't know if it's real or not, but he's there. He's there ready to work in Pennsylvania.
Oh, bro. It's an urn if you're listening to the podcast, sitting in the chair in Pennsylvania.
I'm guessing it's not real, but you don't know.
You're guessing, but you can't
know.
confirm.
Not in this day and age. You don't know for sure.
Thank you.
You don't.
Thank you. And I see where, be sure to subscribe to Chewing the Fat, by the way, available wherever you get your podcast. Chewing the Fat with Jeff Fisher. Subscribe and enjoy. Apple's new feature, the Emergency SOS, is now going to allow iPhone 14 users to send their location and a short message if they find themselves in trouble without cell service, which we heard about back in September and thought, well, that's kind of cool. I mean, Emergency SOS is made possible by 24 satellites in low Earth orbit. Apple invested, I don't know, $400 or $500 million into operating these satellites. And but it's kind of, I don't know, it feels like it's not perfected yet because the user calls 911 without cell service. If they do, then they receive an option to send an emergency text. After filling out a questionnaire about the nature of their emergency,
I'm in trouble.
The user's precise location and medical ID are sent to emergency responders. Plus,
it's just this easy.
Plus,
do you tell your attacker to wait?
You got to have an unobstructed view of the sky.
Oh, okay.
Oh no!
So, I mean, hope you're not in a cave
inside,
or under the car.
That sounds good. No, that sounds good.
If you fell down in your living room or kitchen, wow.
If someone is attacking you,
that's really helpful.
It is. That is helpful. Thank you. That's very.
So it's
very
like a 5-step
helpful.
process.
It's that simple.
Can you stop bludgeoning me for 5 seconds?
You can call 911.
Hang on, I got to fill out a questionnaire here.
Okay. All right. Are you done filling that out yet? I want to continue killing you.
Being bludgeoned with hammer.
What are we doing
right now? Please send help.
Send help. Okay.
I've had this start. We got to do the new Olympic and Paralympic mascots. We've got the new 2024 Olympic Games in France coming up.
Okay.
And they just had their Olympic mascots released yesterday. And
what is happening?
People are likening them to a female body part. And
okay.
Ears.
Female. No,
not the ears.
Yeah, no, not the ears.
The nostrils.
Nostrils.
A little bit lower.
Yeah. We're out of guesses, Jeffy. Continue.
They were. I just wanted to, congratulate France on.
What are their names?
It doesn't say what their names are.
Let's see here.
It's the two red mascots.
The Olympics always come up with the goofiest
dumbest
things.
thing.
Just stupid.
Yeah. Well, you remember, Atlanta had to change theirs. It was so bad. It used to be, Izzy, who looked like a blue sperm. I don't have the...
Izzy, yeah, I don't know what it was. And your man Harvey Weinstein's still on trial.
Yeah.
I know we're all...
That's an interesting...
Everyone is concerned about what his man part looked like.
It's gross.
But,
so gross.
So I guess, he's a dirtbag, but some of that Jane Doe number 4, the governor's wife testimony.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
We should maybe talk about that coming up.
Because, we're at the end.
Wow. That and a lot more.
Yes.
Still to come. Pat Gray Unleashed. 888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter. We were discussing some of the unusual aspects of the Weinstein trial.
Oh, yeah.
I think that the wife of Gavin Newsom, and is it 3 others?
3 others have testified. 1 or 2 of them, the first 2 don't have any standing in the case. They're just there to, show that, he did that.
It's got
stuff.
a pattern of that.
Yeah.
I think we knew that. But some unusual elements to this in that, what's her name? It's like Siebel or Siebel.
Jennifer Siebel Newsom?
Yeah.
Siebel Newsom.
Jennifer Newsom, yeah. Whatever.
And so she says she was raped by him.
Correct.
Ugh.
And she faked it. She faked the O.
She said She said they went
to make him stop.
Went into an apartment, and then he got into his robe, which is standard operating.
That's kind of when you get up and leave.
Standard out. Well. Mm-hmm. Anyway, and so then he started, rubbing on her and attacking her, and we had to go into what his man part looked like.
Yeah,
but
it was
the
not
whole
pleasant.
thing was, then she said she started making enjoyment sounds, hoping that he would finish sooner.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she grabbed. She grabbed
and
his.
what's interesting
ugly man
about
part.
that is that they asked her to recreate that. And she's like, this isn't When Harry Met Sally. I'm not going to do that.
No.
Yeah, that's the kind of crap they're putting these women through.
Well,
okay, and so then she describes his unit, and it's not pleasant sounding for sure.
No.
And
aquatic.
Then they get into.
That's a great.
All right, he raped you, and then you continue to communicate with him for the next 18 months.
Yeah.
What?
She asked him for advice. She emailed him for advice. Emailed for donations.
Thanked him for sending her tickets to the Oscars. We had a great time, she said, and I don't understand that. Although they brought up experts, I think, in this trial that have said, yeah, that's not unusual. It's not unusual to get in touch with your rapist. No.
And I feel like it is.
I
feel like it is.
Yeah, I guess we don't understand.
That's a new thing in the Me Too world.
Yeah,
I guess. I don't know.
But
although I will,
if it's me, I'm not getting a hold of him again. You know, him or her who's ever raped me.
Right.
I'm not getting in touch with them under any circumstances for anything.
But you are if you're looking to still get a paycheck.
Yeah, maybe it's a twisted way to say, all right, look, if I had to go through that, I'm going to get something out of this.
Okay, yeah.
But still, I don't know how I even typed
I don't either.
Words to that guy.
Don't either.
So we'll see. I mean, he's still serving 23 years in New York. I think we're getting some kind of look at retrying that case.
Really?
In appeals, in New York. And then we have this going on here in L.A.
So they tack it on after his sentence is filled in New York?
Probably.
Yeah.
And then we have, I don't even know, he was crying about getting his teeth fixed before this trial, so I don't even know if that's happened yet.
Oh, is that on the people to take care of?
No, he was saying he would take care of it, but he didn't want to use the jail dentist. He wanted to go to a real dentist because the jail dentist just pulls him out.
I'm sorry, you lost your ability to be picky
I disagree.
on that.
No.
You lost your ability to be picky.
No, you did not.
What a surprise, right?
right.
It's shocking.
Did you see?
Weinstein of
Come on,
colleges.
let the guy go to a dentist. You kidding me? Anyway.
I love it.
That's my defense. Your Honor. Let
Are
the
you
guy
kidding
go
me?
to the dentist. What are you kidding me? Anyway, did you see where?
It's a powerful defense.
Thank you. I know.
Yeah,
I know.
It really is.
Well, you don't go to law school for nothing.
All right.
Anyway, Alan Dershowitz. Did you see the Dershowitz case? As long as we're talking about
that she's
dirtbags.
retracted.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
After years, she decides. Oh, you know what?
Maybe it wasn't him.
You know what? I may have been mistaken. What?
Yeah,
What are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Now I recognize I made a mistake identifying Mr. Dershowitz. And then he let her off the hook.
Yeah, I know.
He said she suffered at the hands of Epstein, and I commend her for the work combat.
I'm not sure I'd be as
me either.
Generous.
I mean, it's been what, 7 years? It's
been a long time.
Drug him through the mud.
Yeah.
I mean,
and a lot of people believed her. A lot of people.
I mean, he has vehemently denied it from day one.
Right.
But a lot of people certainly did believe it. And now it's like, you're right, Alan.
Whatever.
It probably wasn't you. Oh, boy. Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's crazy. Really something else.
No kidding.
All right. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Also, as we mentioned, the Artemis 1 rocket launch has happened. So we'll find out, in a couple of days, I guess. What does it take? 2 days to get there? Maybe?
Yeah, I don't know. They're traveling like
shorter than
35, 40 miles an hour. There's a speed limit.
And they're not, obviously, this is unmanned, and they're not landing on the moon. They're just going around it, and we're going to get a peek at the dark side of the moon, which is really kind of cool.
They do have dummies on it, though.
They get dummies. Yeah. You never know. Might have a lead foot.
But also a quick reminder that the GOP did take control of the House. It's official now. They got 219 is it 206, 207 somewhere, and still a bunch to be decided.
Right.
So, but Republican, they can't be passed at this point.
What's CNN doing with their 217 this morning, though?
All right. 217, 207 is how they see it.
Are they hoping that it just...
I guess. They just can't bring themselves to finally declare. Oh, man.
Seriously, I don't like that.
I know.
What are you doing?
It does tell you that there's still a chance for the Democrats.
Well, they're still counting.
Because
we'll know
when
for sure sometime in the next
several months.
Yeah.
When the Senate went for the Democrats, I probably had a dozen news alerts on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
I only got one yesterday for the House going to the Republicans.
Did you get one?
Yeah, I got the one.
Wow.
So,
but I still can't believe Carrie Lake.
I can't.
Lost
either.
to Katie Hobbs.
Recount, right? Maybe.
Oh, they have to.
Yeah, they have to.
Somebody said
automatic.
that. Look, if Katie Hobbs got to be in charge of the count, then put Carrie Lake in charge of the recount. That's fair.
That's fair.
I like it.
Yeah, that's fair. All the articles, though, from the left-wing douchebags are still harping on election denier, Carrie Lake, blah, blah, blah. Honestly, the only time I even heard her mention it is when some reporter would ask her why she denied the election, and she'd calmly rip them to shreds by reminding them that they didn't give a rat's anus when it was Democrats denying elections, and they deny them every time they lose.
Every time.
But still, she's got that stigma attached to her that she's an election denier.
And Carrie Lake, along with MTG, they've already come out to support Donald Trump for 2024, for what that's worth. So,
not bad.
Well, they were.
Yeah, they almost have to.
They were with him no matter what. Yeah.
And some Twitter employees, more Twitter employees, got fired because of, I guess, an argument they were having with Elon Musk.
He's brought a couple back, though.
Yeah,
he's apologized. He brought a couple of them
who?
back and apologized and said it's important to admit
on
when
this
you're
latest
wrong.
one.
Yeah. So no. Hang on. The guy you're, I think, talking about is an a-hole. And he was complaining about Android being slow with Twitter, and because Elon Musk first said something about Twitter in certain parts of the world. Sorry, it's slow on Android,
slow,
right? And then
and he said it's not.
Right. This one guy's like, well, I've been working on it. And Elon's like, so why haven't you fixed it if you've been working on it for 6 years, 7, whatever it was? Anyway, there's a bunch of back and forth.
And the guy was
fired.
completely disrespectful.
Right.
Disrespectful of
in
Elon
public,
Musk.
and so he got fired.
Yeah.
But there's two guys Jeffy's talking about that Elon said, I made a big mistake with these guys. I'm bringing them back.
The girl and the guy.
Oh, it was a girl?
Yeah, one's the one girl. I forget their names,
the one
but-
girl. Yeah. I
know
think everybody knows.
Wait a minute. I
who
thought
you're
those were
talking
two
about.
guys in the picture. Are you talking about the one where they're standing? I'm being honest. I saw two guys. I thought it was two guys.
The one girl. But come on.
The one girl.
Keith,
with
you know what
him.
he's talking about.
I don't
It's the
know.
one girl.
Yes,
Maybe he brought back
I
3
do.
people.
You know that one girl at Twitter?
one
Her.
girl,
Oh,
the
yeah.
one that's-
Yeah, I know the one. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good.
The girl at Twitter, right? That's who
know
you're talking
which
about.
one.
No, I do. Of course they do.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, how could I not with the description
I don't
you just
know.
gave me? The
I
one
don't
girl
know.
at Twitter. Well,
Used to
of course
see her
I
at the
know.
lunch counter
All
before
the
Elon
time.
pulled the plug
Sure.
on the free meals.
And that's another thing that they're bitching and moaning and whining and crying about. In fact, they've accused him of now starving his employee.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
That is
Are
awesome.
there more rehires besides these two?
Is the one on the far left?
That's what I'm saying. Is there someone missing here? Is it 3 rehires or is it?
Is that not the girl there on the left?
I don't.
You know, the one girl?
I don't know.
Excuse me, it's man.
I don't know.
Right.
Ligman Johnson,
I love the fact
a
that
morning show team.
if you have to pay for your own lunch or breakfast,
You're starving.
You're being starved.
I'm a fan of that plan, by the way.
Which?
Free
Not
lunch
starving.
not starving. And the company,
That'd be great.
if the company is not providing you food, then you're starving.
And look how they take it for granted.
I know.
Right.
They just expect
Yes.
everything handed to them on a silver platter.
Yeah, Elon said that since no one was in the office, it worked to about $400 per meal.
Per meal.
Okay.
They're losing money hand over fist
So
on that.
if the free lunch was that important to you, Twitter employee, then maybe you should have dragged your ass into work and enjoyed it.
Right. Right. But they don't go to the office.
No.
A lot of them work remotely.
Well, they couldn't, right? I mean, at the most of the time, this was during the pandemic, right? So during the pandemic, he was talking about
Twitter's
card access in the building.
but they've been around a lot longer.
They have
than-
now, yes,
than that.
since then, yes.
But it was interesting because we just had a brief look at what life at Twitter is like.
Absolutely.
From that woman who filmed her day. Here's a day in the life at Twitter headquarters. Apparently, she's not there very much. This was the first time, I think, of her being in the building. And she showed that they're provided free drinks, they're provided free breakfast, lunch. They don't provide dinner because nobody's there at dinner time. And then how many breaks did she take? She got wine, sat down, relaxed in the relaxation area. I mean, it's unbelievable what they get. And now they demand it.
Yeah.
Amazing. It's just so amazing.
Well, now Elon's starving them.
Wait a minute.
And now he's starving him to death. That bastard. Wow. He should go back to his stupid car company.
Right.
Right? Go back to Tesla where you belong. You evil dictator, you. And that's the kind of stuff they call him. And that's why, the one guy got fired. You know the one guy at Twitter?
I do. I do.
He got fired.
Yeah, the one guy.
Yeah, you know the guy, the one guy I'm talking about. That Twitter engineer was going back, and he's just nasty about it.
I know.
Look, Glenn and I are best friends, but if I went on social media and started assailing him and essentially calling him a liar,
right,
and telling him he's not running this place well, do you think I'd get fired? I would get fired. But these little darlings, they believe they're immune to that.
Yes, they do.
No one can fire them. They've learned their whole lives that they're precious and special, and that nothing bad can ever happen to them. We're going to keep you from it. And if you ever get tense, we'll put you in the cry closet where you can recover.
The thing that was so great about, that one guy is that his bio said, because he had survived that round of layoffs, and his bio said, still at Twitter. And so then I went down and I looked at his little feed there, and he was locked out of his computer. Yeah. And he said, oh, I guess it's official.
Wow.
You might want to update that bio, bro.
Wow. All right, let me tell you about Real Estate Agents I Trust, because trying to sell your home is really challenging. We're in a challenging environment again. In some areas, it's still pretty good for the seller. In others, it's a buyer's market. But whatever market you live in, it's always a great idea to go to Real Estate Agents I Trust. It's a free service provided by this company. It's Glenn's company, and he and his team have fully vetted these agents to make sure that they're really committed to being realtors and to make sure that they've got great marketing plans. And if we can't find a really great realtor in a certain market, we just don't have one there. As it is, though, I think there's about 1,500 of them nationwide. So give them a try. Whether you're buying or selling or doing both because you're relocating, it's Real Estate Agents I Trust. The name says it all. realestateagentsitrust.com.
This is Pat Gray on.
All right. A judge has blocked the United States from expelling migrants, illegal immigrants, under Title 42 policy. That happened yesterday, and he's blocked the main tool the Biden administration has used to manage the unprecedented flood of illegals coming into our country. So I wonder who this judge was appointed by. I wonder.
It's Joe Biden.
Is it?
It sure is.
Joe Biden?
Joe Biden appointed this judge, and this judge has taken away the ability to send away migrants that, like you said, came in under the pandemic. Remember now, so the pandemic applies to us still.
Yeah.
There's so much.
But not to illegals coming across the border.
Correct. So they can't carry COVID from the South.
And besides, we know that there's no problem at the border, right?
Thank you.
There's just no. There's. I think
the border is secure.
I mean, he just said it again.
It's secure.
Yeah,
it's secure. Mm-hmm. So the border is not a crisis, but the white supremacy situation in this country is.
There you go.
There you go, my friend.
You got it.
A lot like climate change.
Mm-hmm.
Climate change is a crisis.
Crisis.
It's an absolute crisis.
We just offered up another $20 billion, right?
But again, the border is not. That's not a crisis.
Never let a crisis go to waste.
The crisis in women's reproductive health.
Oh, there you go.
But there's no crisis with 65 million babies being aborted since 1973 in this country.
You're learning.
There was a huge crisis the day democracy almost died, January 6th. What a crisis that was. An insurrection crisis. But 8 months of violent rioting across the nation, that's not a crisis.
Silly.
Democracy is under attack. That's a huge crisis we face right now. Now, free speech being completely eliminated from the right, that's not a crisis.
Right.
Another crisis is the mega MAGA Republicans.
Oh, yeah.
Just in general, they're a crisis. But civil asset forfeiture, where they just take whatever they want from you anytime they want, that's not a crisis.
You're getting this.
That's not even worth mentioning, in fact. There's another crisis with voter suppression efforts, like having to show your ID at the voting booth.
I hate that.
But what's not a crisis, and not even worth mentioning, is the actual obvious rampant election fraud that went on in 2020 and is still going on today, and we don't even talk about it. That's how much of a crisis it isn't. Okay?
Here we go.
So I don't even want to hear about it. Yeah, I don't want to hear about it. No. I mean, that is the crisis.
Okay, yeah.
That there are deniers like Carrie Lake. But let's not talk about Hillary Clinton denying the fact that she lost in 2016. Still today.
That continues.
Oh, man. I can't take it.
So I guess Greg Abbott didn't get the memo about the border not being a crisis.
No, I guess not.
He's declared it an invasion.
What?
What
a hater.
Yeah, and so
what a racist.
He's employing tools now.
That's awesome.
To go and take care of that, including border wall coming.
A border wall that Texas is going to build?
Yeah, we can build our own.
Among the actions is building a border wall in multiple counties and this is something that should have been done a long time ago. Designating Mexico drug cartels.
See, this is what pisses me off when you ask,
terrorists.
Terrorists. When you ask about Greg Abbott, do you like him? Do you not? Why the hell you wait until after the re-election to do this? This you should have done years ago. If it's as big of a crisis as you say, then why are you waiting for an election season to end before you take these actions, sir?
Yeah, it's a legitimate question. He's not going to answer it, but it's a legitimate question.
Well, the answer is that he was attempting to do it through other avenues, right, without doing it.
All right, good.
Good answer, Jeffy. Good answer. Good answer.
Good. We got the
all right, Press Secretary
Jeff Fisher, Governor Abbott's office.
Governor Greg Abbott. Thank you for that, Mr. Secretary. All right. Also on Capitol Hill, Congressman Clay Higgins had some thoughts about the non-crisis at the border.
He was fun yesterday. Lots of good stuff.
Here's what he said.
Mayor Mayorkas, for the record, are you aware or have you authorized CBP agents to release illegal aliens into America without identifying, screening, or vetting them properly, or harvesting even basic biometric data like fingerprints?
Congressman, our nation's sovereignty stands strong, and our brave men and women in the Border Patrol and throughout U.S. Customs.
Are you aware or have you authorized CBP agents to release illegal aliens into America without having properly vetted, identified them, or collected at least basic biometric data like fingerprints?
No.
Congressman.
I mean, you got millions coming across.
Congressman, our
gentleman from Ms. Higgins.
Yep.
Yeah.
Allow the secretary to answer.
It's my time, Mr. Chairman. If I want to reclaim my time, I will.
I'm
going to move on without an answer.
Nice.
Mr. Chairman, are you asking me for me to yield you time?
No, I'm the chair.
Then I'm going to reclaim my time.
Look,
Moving on,
no,
Secretary
no,
Mayorkas.
the gentleman from.
Are you interrupting my time,
I love
Mr.
it.
Chairman? Or are you requesting me to use you time?
I'm trying to make sure that we conduct.
You're interfering with my 5 minutes, Mr. Chairman.
Well, then the gentleman will.
If you request me to yield you time, I'll give you time.
No, but that's not the procedure.
But that is the procedure.
It is not.
Yes, it is.
So,
of course it is.
Look,
I reclaim my time, and I want this time back. Secretary Mayorkas, Have you used your authority to suppress exculpatory evidence presented by CBP agents who've come under public attack and condemnation by DHS and the Biden administration? Have you used your authority to suppress exculpatory evidence presented by CBP agents who've come under public attack and condemnation by you and the Biden administration?
2 points, if I may, Congressman. Number one, in response to your second question, I don't even know what you're referring to. And with respect to your first
I'll take that as that you're on the record as saying no.
U.S.
That you have not.
I love this guy. Okay.
Where's he been?
So Clay Higgins, I just looked this up. Confident after winning fourth term, has eye on Homeland Security chairmanship. He wants to sit in that chairman's seat in a month, 2 months from now.
Yeah. He's on his way.
Yeah.
This is how you become a star, though.
Yeah.
You know, these hearings provide an opportunity.
Yeah, and we have multiple clips from him. He was on fire yesterday. He had more for Mayorkas. Yeah.
Here he is with the FBI director.
No. We need to play the one. Ask him if the border's secure, sir.
Oh, okay.
Do you continue to maintain that the border is secure?
Yes, and we are working day in and day out to enhance its security, Congressman.
Gosh. Okay. That is incredible. With the news coming out, I think yesterday, that it's a record number of crossings by illegal aliens. Yeah. We had a record number of encounters with illegals coming across the border. In 1 month, it was 250,000.
I mean, I don't even think that counts the ones that we
we
estimate we missed.
Yeah, right. That's just the encounters.
That does not.
For 1 month.
That does not. That's just encounters.
October.
So if we ran into them, then that counts. Other than that, we have no idea how many people came across the border. It's usually about 3 times that number. So it's probably about 750,000 that came across the border in 1 month.
That's secure, though.
But the border is secure.
Are you? The border is secure.
He's still maintaining that.
Yes, he does.
Wow. They live in a fantasy land.
Makes you feel good.
Yeah, doesn't it, though?
Good.
All right.
Good.
More on the way. So, Jeffy.
Pat.
Are you all over the Yellowstone debut?
Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah, you did watch it?
Yeah, it was the first 2 episodes of the season 5.
Season 5?
Season 5. Yeah,
Wow.
The first 2 episodes aired Sunday.
Okay. Good?
Yeah, enjoyed it. Yeah, it was nice.
12.1 million people tuned in.
That's with everyone. They had a little issue with some Paramount Plus subscribers because it didn't air on Paramount Plus. It airs on Paramount Network.
I saw a lot of people upset about that.
People were a little wound up about it. Yeah. I caught the first 2 episodes of Yellowstone right into the penultimate episode of Walking Dead on Sunday night because the second episode of Yellowstone, aired at the same time as Walking Dead did live. But
it
won't. It won't this week.
What I love about Yellowstone is that when they're on the ranch and somebody says, "Hey, you know what? We need to go to Billings or some other city." Next thing you know,
there.
They hop in a car and they're in Billings.
It's right there.
Never mind that it's a 6-hour drive. Don't worry about it.
It's right there.
Let's go to Helena because I'm the governor now, and so I need to go from the ranch to Helena. That's just a 3-hour drive. Don't worry about it.
I thought about that.
They're in Bozeman all the time. 3.5 hours.
I actually did think about that one of the 2 shows this past week.
Yeah,
because there
they
were a
act like
couple of times
they're driving across town.
Yeah, there were a couple of times when there's just like they get in the SUV and where do I got to go? We got to go to we got to go to Bozeman. And then they're there.
And nobody says, wait, Bozeman? That's 3.5 hours. How much? What? We don't have time. We don't have time to get to.
I gotta go this way.
And literally, it's
Hilarious.
almost 6 hours to Billings.
Jeffy.
Almost 6 hours.
Fantastic. I love it.
Is Bozeman a big part of Yellowstone? I'm just wondering, does that explain some of the growth there?
They've been there many times.
Well, yeah, they've been there, and that's where
why is Montana getting popular?
And by the way, Bozeman is now only the second city whose metropolitan area is over 100,000. There's Billings and now Bozeman. Bozeman used to be a teeny tiny little town. Yeah. They already are.
Ruining it, yeah.
They already are.
God.
I saw on a preview Kevin Costner as John Dutton say something like, because he's he's whining about developers and what
Yeah,
they're doing
I mean,
to the state.
That's what his
And
deal
he
is
said,
as governor.
drive down Main Street in Bozeman. You want it to look like that here? So apparently I haven't been to Bozeman in a long time, but apparently they've ruined it. So.
Well, they've ruined it as far as John Dutton is concerned because he's trying to save his ranch.
How many people died in the first 2 episodes of this? Like 150?
No, actually, I think only one.
Oh, really? Oh, that's not bad.
I think only one person died.
That's not bad. Because
it's
that
early.
shows a bloodbath.
But it's early. Yeah, it's early.
It's like it's Mexican drug cartels fighting each other in Montana. It's amazing.
We had one. I think they had a baby that died, so that's the one.
Oh no!
And then they.
I mean, you shouldn't probably say that.
What's happening over there? Glenn Beck, spoiler alert.
Shut up! It's been days.
It's been days.
There's a lot of. I bet there's a lot of people saving it. For a time when they can sit back and relax, just watch the first 2
it was
episodes.
a baby wolf. Then,
All right,
okay,
baby wolf.
yeah, baby wolf.
Now
Sorry.
you've told us that a wolf dies.
no.
Bro, what are you doing?
Oh no!
Save some story for the rest of us.
Come on, man.
Yeah, then I had to watch. Then all during the commercials during Yellowstone, they're telling me that Tulsa King is streaming on Paramount Plus, which I thought was supposed to start this coming weekend.
Oh,
but it dropped the first episode this weekend, so
okay,
had to go watch that.
So that's weird because that's Taylor Sheridan too, isn't it? So that's on Paramount Plus.
Yes,
but Yellowstone's on Paramount
Network.
That's weird.
And they did.
Why'd they do that? I wonder.
Well, because they did a deal with the one company, CBS.
The one company,
CBS's
CBS's
streaming company.
Is that like the one girl at Twitter? Yeah.
They did it. They
I know
did
which
a
one you're talking
streaming
about.
deal with the CBS streaming company prior to the launch of Paramount Plus.
Right.
And so you get a cross.
Yeah, it used to be
cross mix there.
just a CBS app.
Yeah.
Right. Then it became a Paramount app.
No, then
it became Paramount Plus, I think, and you had both of them.
Jeffy?
I forget which company. Well, anyway, whatever it was, their deal that they had for Yellowstone happened before the launch of Paramount Plus, so it's not on Paramount Plus. But Tulsa King is with Sylvester Stallone. It was fun. It was a fun. I enjoyed it
Because you were really looking forward to it.
I am.
Sounds like
I
you were a
was.
little disappointed.
Well, you know what it is? It's did you ever watch Lilyhammer?
No,
on Netflix.
I never did.
With what's his face?
Oh, the guy.
The one guy. Yeah, we know what you're talking about. Yeah, the one guy.
They used to,
he used
from
to
the
date the one
Sopranos,
girl at Twitter.
From the
I don't know.
Sopranos.
You got it.
And
Yeah, you got it.
he played guitar for Springsteen. Van Zandt, Stephen Van Zandt.
Oh, okay.
Starred in Lilyhammer. And it's kind of like that. It's a mobster, an old-time mobster that's been in prison, and he has to ship out to Tulsa. And Lilyhammer was Van Zandt going to the Netherlands and doing the same thing, starting from scratch, but being this old-time mobster guy.
Lilyhammer, it's probably not the Netherlands. That'd be Norway. But
whatever, same thing.
But it's that one country.
It's that one country over there.
It's that one country. You know which one I'm talking about.
Yes.
Right, with the one guy.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Yeah. It's the one country with the one guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I know who you're talking. I
All
know
right.
exactly
Thank you.
what you're talking about.
Yeah. Do we want to do the rest of Representative Higgins?
Oh yeah, with Christopher Wray.
And just as a side note too, another Taylor Sheridan. The 1923 is going to start up here pretty soon too with Harrison Ford and
spinoff from Yellowstone.
From 1883.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a spinoff from.
So Yellowstone,
from
1883,
but it's from
and then-
Yellowstone. It's 1883 was the beginning, and then 1923 is now we're jumping up.
Coolidge
to,
era.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's all about the Duttons just moving through time.
Different time zones. Yeah.
Interesting.
Time zone.
Is that going to run simultaneously with Yellowstone?
I guess so. Yeah, because they'll fire up here pretty soon.
All right. So here's what happened with Higgins, Clay Higgins, who's just kind of come out of nowhere all of a sudden at these hearings, and he's grilling FBI Director Christopher Wray.
January 6th.
Does the FBI have confidential human sources? Did the FBI have confidential human sources embedded within the January 6th
Great
protesters on January 6th of 2021?
Well, Congressman, as I'm sure you can appreciate, I have to be very careful about what I can say about when
Even
we are,
now, because that's what you told us
May I
2 years
finish?
ago.
May I finish?
No, because we know
about
what you're
when
going to
we
say.
do and do not, and where we have and have not used confidential human sources. But to the extent that there's a suggestion, for example, that the FBI's confidential human sources or FBI employees in some way instigated or orchestrated January 6th, that's categorically false.
Did you have confidential human sources dressed as Trump supporters inside the Capitol on January the 6th prior to the doors being opened?
Again, I had to be very careful.
It should be a no. Can you not tell the American people no? We did not have confidential human sources dressed as Trump supporters positioned inside the Capitol.
Gentleman's time has expired.
You should not read anything into my decision not to share information.
Director Ray,
confidential human
gentleman's time has expired.
The gentleman's time has expired.
He's getting too close to the truth, and we got to shut him down right now. So, time's up. Time's up. And that's interesting, huh? You can't just categorically deny it.
Well, he has to be careful with where they do and do not have confidential human.
I think the key to
informants.
what he's saying, I think everybody knows that there were FBI agents embedded on January 6th. The nuance of this question was from Representative Higgins, were they inside the Capitol before the doors were opened?
Well, we know that there were people in there.
Exactly, we do.
Before.
And we have seen damning enough video
sure have.
to show doors opened and
doors being opened.
Different officers going, yes, we're doing
Come
this,
on
or
in.
no, we're not doing it. Oh, you didn't get the memo? Yeah, we're opening the damn doors.
All y'all come in.
Yeah.
Yes, the door was rushed in certain places. In other places, at the Capitol building,
not so much.
Looking
they
forward
were welcomed with open arms.
to investigating the January 6th security proceedings when someone like a Representative Clay Higgins from Louisiana gets in the chairman's seat.
Clay knows that we have to be very careful on
he can certainly
where and
understand
when and who we have for human confidence.
I want to see. I want to see that hearing,
Such
and
a
I want to
weird
see
thing that
him.
we have to specify human.
Not only that, but will we ever get to the bottom of whether or not there were Antifa instigators among the crowd? And will anybody ever admit that? Because we know there were. There absolutely were. Proof positive, there were Antifa people, like that guy from Utah who's always at these things.
Yeah.
He was there. And nobody mentions that. Nobody ever talks about it. Well, it doesn't fit the narrative, so they're never going to talk about it. Let me tell you about Rough Greens. If you want your dog to thrive, maybe your dog is even getting a little bit older and starting to slow down a little bit, get them the vitamins, minerals, probiotics, antioxidants that exist in Rough Greens. This isn't dog food, but it's a dog food supplement you just sprinkle on top of the dry kibble stuff that you give your dog. And then it puts all those things back into it, because dry kibble food has been completely sterilized, which kills all the living elements. And so you don't have them in most dog food. Please give this a try. Now, Rough Greens doesn't want you to waste any money at all. So, to be sure your dog is going to love this as much as mine does, they're going to send you a free bag just for your dog to try out for a couple of days. And all you have to do is pick up the shipping. Just go to roughgreens.com, R-U-F-F, greens.com, or call 833-783-3364.
Beware, Pat Gray is unleashed.
By the way, just one more quick note. Kexi cookies, I think we can still get it to you by Thanksgiving. Just can't guarantee it right now, but because things get crazy this time of year. But you should be able to get it by Thanksgiving if that's your goal. And we have probably our most popular cookie right now, which really surprised me because I didn't really put these flavors together. But it's the sweet potato pie cookie. So good. Actual sweet potatoes in it. Yeah. Marshmallows, chips, chocolate.
It sounds good.
It was an incredible meal last week.
Yeah.
It sure was. I had planned on just eating
Thanksgiving
half
dinner
of it.
in a cookie.
Exactly. And I just ate the whole thing. I was like, no, this is too good. Because you never know when to stop.
I know.
You just keep eating it.
Half of it. Something I've never said.
I'd like to see, we should try this sometime. Get you a dozen. See if we can get through a dozen cookies in one show.
You willing to take that challenge?
I bet you could not do that.
Jeffy?
I'll bet you couldn't do it.
Willing to take that?
Well, no, because I'm a marathon eater, not a sprint eater.
I mean, I'm willing to take the shot.
Yeah, but give it a try. Anyway, Kexi.com. is where you go. KEKSI. 888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter. A study examining murders in 2021 based on death certificate data projects that 1 out of 179 Americans will eventually be murdered over the course of their lifetime.
Wow.
If the country's murder rate remains at 2021 levels.
And of course they put in a bunch of other qualifiers.
Hold on, spoiler alert, it's actually going to get worse. So does that mean that our chances are even
Yes,
higher?
even higher. That means if you're in the United States, you live here, you're born, and you spend your life here, your odds of your life ending by murder are 1 in 179 over your life.
But I think if you live out in the boonies, it's probably a little bit better odds for you than if you live in the inner city of Chicago, say.
Would you think so?
I'm going to go out on a limb on that one.
Yeah, but then you might be trampled by horses or cattle. It's not safe anywhere.
But it's not murder.
It's not murder.
Because they talk about don't they have a bunch of other qualifiers in there?
Yeah,
as
they've
well?
changed the way they report the crimes. Maybe not in this story what you're talking about, Jeffy. I'm not sure what you're saying.
There's not really a lot of qualifiers there, actually.
Murder.
Are you talking about
She
if
wrote.
you're born here, you've spent your life here? Are those the qualifiers you're talking about?
They were talking about it, and then they added heart attacks and cancer and everything else. Gosh darn it! I don't have it here.
Well, those don't fit into murder, so. But America was
They
throttled.
fit into deaths.
Yeah, he's talking about that one stat.
That one
in
stat.
That report.
Oh, right. That included, was it the one country over there?
That's right.
That's
You
correct.
got it.
That's correct.
So America was throttled by violent crimes in 2020 when murders spiked by nearly 30% compared to the prior year.
What side was doing the murdering?
Let's see, the left. It marked the largest single-year increase in killings since the agency began tracking crimes. Okay, everything's fine. Don't worry about it. You keep electing Democrats because they're doing such a great job. The FBI switched to a new recording program at the start of 2021 called the National Incident-Based Reporting System that aims to provide a more thorough snapshot of offenses.
Does it, though?
Who knows?
See, that's what I was wondering when I was reading this, because we've had stories in the past where certain crime cities, like
Don't
San Francisco,
report.
aren't even in that.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, as I'm reading this story, I'm thinking, so does that mean that our chances of being murdered are even worse?
Yeah, they're about 1 and 2 now.
What?
They're 1 and 2.
Wait a minute.
If you include San Francisco, New York, and Los Angeles, they're 1 and 2.
1 and 2.
One of us in this room is going
At
to
least
die
one of us. The other
by
one's going to
murder.
just be maimed.
Man, it's been nice knowing you two.
This is not good.
Oh, man. 888-900-3393. Then we get into the school system, which is wonderful. And this dumb guy, said something in his class that he just should not have said. Texas middle school teacher. And here's what he had to say in his class.
Deep down in my heart, I'm ethnocentric, which means I think my race is the superior one.
Whoa. He says he's the superior race.
So
the white guy
is better than all. No, let me finish.
Let him finish.
I think everybody thinks that. They're just not honest about it.
Hey, I'm not racist though. I like all types of kinds.
Did I say I don't like people?
People only think that.
No, you said you are what?
And we all feel that way. That's what he's saying.
That's what he's
I
saying.
think everybody's a racist at that level.
No, you said you are racist.
I did. Yeah, I'm trying to be honest. No, I'm not saying it again. I've said it enough.
So you're racist. I think I slightly told you to stop speaking.
Put your phone up.
I respected you. I actually respected you for a while.
Too late, bro.
Now,
Yeah.
He's just having a conversation.
You can't. You can't, though. You can't have a conversation like this.
Respect for him no more, bro.
You know, you should have more respect.
All right, so we got it. He's gone. He's already been fired.
He's been fired under Texas's CRT law. You can't promote one race over another.
Wow. Is that what he's doing when he says he considers his race to be superior?
But
is that promoting the race?
I don't know. On top of that, in context, he said he thought that everyone felt that way about their race. So he wasn't.
Yeah, too late.
Promoting.
Sorry, too late.
I know, but he wasn't promoting.
I know. But even in Pflugerville, Texas, with Willie and Waylon and the boys.
Oh, no.
Hey, come to Pflugerville, Texas.
With Waylon and Willie and the boys. Can't be doing that.
No, you can't do that anywhere, really. Seriously, you can't say that I consider my race to be superior. Well, if you're white, you can't.
Right.
If you're a person of color, you can. And they do.
Yeah,
Sometimes. I mean, there's a Clear Channel station at least there used to be in Houston. It was our sister station called La Raza. What does that mean?
I don't know.
The race.
Oh.
The race. So they made that proclamation every time they said their station's name. So that's
well, when you say it like that.
Yeah,
but that's not in Pflugerville.
No, it isn't. It's in Houston, Texas. Yeah, big difference there. Also, a Florida high school student, we talked about this briefly yesterday
on overtime, right?
On overtime. But the places where they allow you to like paint something on your parking space. That's what they allowed.
It's allowable graffiti.
Yes,
basically.
Yeah,
it's kind of stupid. Actually,
it is stupid. I don't like it.
Well, here's what happened. Check out
My
this
parents are
video.
Holocaust survivors.
Well, hold on. You might want to pause this here. No,
Yeah.
because remember, this is the Bible verse.
Yeah.
She's offended
Yeah.
by a Bible verse.
Yeah.
Which makes no sense. Okay.
Things through.
Yeah.
All things. What I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me.
Yeah. And so another teacher, Jewish, doesn't like that.
Doesn't like that.
Okay.
Oh.
My parents are Holocaust survivors, and
Here's why.
I would never try to convince someone to change their faith. Jews were murdered because they were
What does that have to do
Jews,
with the parking
and
space?
Christians
Nothing.
survived, and it just brought back the memories of what my parents went through.
Gentilesco went to administrators about her concerns. She also reached out to the Jewish Community Relations Council.
A number of people may look at that as an endorsement of a specific religion by a governmental entity, and that becomes potentially violative of the Establishment Clause of the First Amendment.
After looking into the legality of it all, attorney Jonathan Ellis with the Jewish Community Relations Council says they concluded they couldn't force the school to remove the verse, partly because it's not necessarily directly related to an instructional aspect meant for students.
Because the school is giving the teachers and students a certain level of freedom to decorate their own space or to individualize their own space, that it doesn't necessarily run into a violation of the Establishment Clause.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh man.
This was in Wesley Chapel, right?
This is in Florida. Yeah.
Wesley Chapel. Yeah, it's Tampa Bay.
Oh, that's asinine.
Everybody wants to be offended.
She's not trying to convert the Jewish teacher to Christianity necessarily by just painting that. That's maybe a reminder to her every day.
When she parks.
Right?
I got to go deal with these cretin kids today.
And if you're
Give me
Jewish
strength.
and you're offended by it, don't look at it.
Mm-hmm.
It's really not that hard.
It is.
Don't look at it. Okay?
Hold on. Maybe you stop going to work so early. Get there after she gets there. You won't see it.
The car will be parked on top of it. Well, yeah, but sometimes I crawl underneath the car just to see what they've done on their parking space.
I drive by and I can see some lettering sticking out, and I know what it says.
I know what it says.
The Establishment Clause states that Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion, nor prohibiting the free exercise thereof. So that's what the Establishment Clause is. So anything short of Congress establishing a law that absolutely specifies a religion that we must be, the Establishment Clause has not been violated. Okay? So all of these things are just stupid.
And this Establishment Clause that you're speaking about,
Yeah.
is in what kind of, what's the thing that's, what is it part of?
It's in the Great Big Book of Everything.
Okay.
That,
The one that KJP
uses
carries
every
around?
day. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
awesome.
it's in that, the Great Big Book of Everything.
That's awesome.
At least it should be in that book, as well as the
There's
U.S.
not
Constitution.
There's not a chance she has that in that Great Big Book of
there is
Everything.
not. No chance whatsoever. But that is so agonizing. And we go through this all the time where people think they can't be offended. There's no offensive clause. There's no clause in the Constitution that disallows you from being offended.
We've lost. I mean, we talk about how things have changed all the time, but we most definitely have lost the, oh, you're offended? Oh, well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sorry, sticks and stones.
Oh,
break your bones.
Bummer.
Names are going to hurt you.
So
bummer. Let's go get a cup of coffee. Bummer. Let's go. Tough.
Right.
I mean, we've lost that for
completely.
So they have somehow manufactured separation of church and state and convinced Americans that it's in the Constitution.
Yes.
I'm sure they can
not.
twist something to try to make it say that you can't be offended. I wonder what.
Well, we have to be careful here, Keith. I can't tell you, who we have and who we don't have, and where we have human informants and where we don't have human informants. So
okay,
we've got to be careful.
That one guy said that, right?
Yes.
The one guy,
the FBI guy.
Yeah. The one guy. I know who you're talking about.
Guy.
At that one organization.
He said it.
In that one country that's over there. You know the one I'm talking about.
I do.
That one.
I do.
Yeah.
See,
it's right there.
It's cruel and unusual to expose me to a Bible verse.
Oh, okay. There you go.
There.
Unconstitutional. All right, we'll see you on Overtime, and then back here tomorrow for Pat Gray Unleashed.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.